Knoebels, a small park in the middle of the Pennsylvania mountains, is home to the world's best wooden roller coaster, Phoenix, according to the Golden Ticket Awards. But how does this roller coaster that stands only 78 feet tall with a relatively basic looking layout get the title of the world's best wooden coaster? BUZZBARS. And if you're not familiar as to why that makes this coaster so special, we'll get to that in a little bit later. Phoenix is legitimately one of the only 3 roller coasters I've been on where it feels like I'm gonna fall out, and I imagine for some people that's terrifying. But for an adrenaline junkie like myself, I cannot get enough of that feeling. So join me as we look into what makes Phoenix so special, and does it deserve the title of the world's best wooden coaster? While Phoenix has been thrilling riders since 1985 at Knoebels, Phoenix's life actually begins way before at Playland Park in San Antonio, Texas. Originally opening in 1947 as the Rocket, it thrilled riders in Central Texas for nearly 40 years until 1980 when Playland Park sadly shut its doors due to financial issues, where in most stories, this classic wooden coaster would only be left in history books and memories. Soon after its final season, Knoebels was looking for their next thrill ride, and did something that seems unheard of today. Just take it down and move it to Pennsylvania board by board. What makes it even more unbelievable is that there were no surviving blueprints of the Rocket, so Knoebels had to number each board carefully and take the Rocket down piece by piece before assembling it again in Elittsburg, Pennsylvania. Knoebels officially purchased the Rocket in 1984, and on June 15th, 1985, the newly and appropriately named Phoenix has been thrilling riders ever since. Phoenix was designed by Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters, which has designed many classic wooden coasters since 1904. Today, PTC does not manufacture coasters anymore, but they do still deliver probably the most recognizable trains in the industry. Phoenix only stands 78 feet tall and reaches a top speed of 45 miles an hour, which the stats are extremely underwhelming when you're looking at Phoenix on paper. What the stats do not tell you is just how much insane airtime is packed into this relatively small wooden coaster. Despite being 77 years old, Knoebels takes such incredible care of Phoenix by providing one of the smoothest wooden coaster experiences I've ever had. Phoenix is actually smoother than a lot of steel coasters I've been on. However, just being smooth does not give you the reputation of the best wooden coaster in the world. For that, you need some insane ejector airtime and BUZZBARS. Now, if you're not familiar with the BUZZBARS restraint, it's basically a restraint that goes on top of the top lip of a car and goes over your legs. However, these restraints do not actually touch your legs, leaving many inches of a gap. So when the airtime comes, you are flying out of your seat. I honestly do not understand how these keep you from flying off the train, but Phoenix has never had an accident, so they are somehow magically working. So, let's get to the good stuff. The layout and why Phoenix is so special. Right out of the station, you go into a tunnel that is pitch black. Although if you go during the Halloween season, there are lights on with decorations inside. You climb up to a height of 78 feet before dropping down and hitting 45 miles an hour. Honestly, the worst part of the ride is the first drop. Even in the back row, it doesn't do much, but its purpose is only to get you enough momentum to blast through the rest of the layout. After getting your speed from the drop, the climb up into the slow turnaround, and
this is where the fun begins.
From here on out, it's pure insanity. In the back row, you start to get a preview of what is to come. As you fly down the hill, you start to feel the airtime take over. You hit 2 airtime hills, where the first delivers fantastic floater airtime, but the second slams you into that buzz bar, giving you that first dose of ejector. You climb up into the second turnaround, but unlike the first, your momentum keeps you flying through that turn, giving a little bit of laterals. With the station in sight, you dive back down, giving great ejector in the back row, where you enter arguably the best part of the whole layout, the double up that goes directly into a double down. The double up gives good floater in the front and in the back at the crest of each hill. However, on the double down specifically, you slam into the buzz bars, giving you one-of-a-kind ejector while it feels like you are standing in your seat. You truly feel like you're going to fly off of the train, which I imagine for some people has to be one of the most terrifying feelings you get on a roller coaster. One final turnaround, and where just like the second, you speed on through. We enter the finale, where it's a set of 4 airtime hills in a row, each delivering moments of incredible floater airtime and one hill giving arguably the strongest pop of ejector, once again slamming you into that buzz bar. You pull up into the brakes, bringing the ride to a close. This ride is absolutely unhinged and gives a feeling you don't feel on many coasters, where it does truly feel like the restraints are not enough. Now, you are going to want to take several laps on Phoenix, but like any coaster, where you sit matters. Front row gives a fantastic view of the layout as well as great moments of airtime as you climb over the top of the hills. However, I personally feel that the back row is by far the best seat in the house. The airtime you receive is borderline violent as you are pulled over the crest of Phoenix's hills, truly testing that BUZZBARS ability. Some people do seem to love the front row, however for me, the back seat is worth waiting for every time, which you don't have to wait too long for because Phoenix might have the best operations of any coaster I have seen outside of a Disney or Universal park. The way this pulls into the station and everything is checked and cleared within a minute is insane. I clocked a 48-second dispatch, which is just unheard of at most places. Now, the burning question is, does Phoenix deserve the Golden Ticket Award for Best Wooden Coaster 6 years in a row? I can understand how some people do not get this ride, especially if you don't ride in the back or it's a cold day where the trains are crawling a little bit. However, each ride I've had is just one of the most memorable experiences in recent years. I was just giggling uncontrollably as I slammed to the top of those buzz bars, experiencing nearly standing airtime as you go over each and every airtime hill. So, is this the best wooden coaster? For myself, it's the second best wooden coaster, only behind the Voyage. I myself had not had the chance to ride two other all-time great wooden coasters just yet, being El Toro and Shivering Timbers. Both I would expect to have a legitimate shot at ranking higher than Phoenix. Regardless, I do think Phoenix deserves the Golden Ticket Award. It is such a crazy and fun layout while also being incredibly smooth, something a lot of the best wooden coasters are not able to claim. There is a reason why this ranks in my top 10 despite being under 100 feet tall, where the average height of my top 10 is pushing hypercoaster levels at 196 feet in average. Like most of my top 10, Phoenix is very close to getting the rare perfect 10 out of 10 score. The only thing holding Phoenix back is a lackluster first drop and first turnaround. Everything past that is just perfect. So, for Phoenix's final score, I am giving the Golden Ticket Award winner for Best Wooden Coaster a 9.9 out of 10, currently ranked number 9 out of the 212 coasters I have ridden. An absolutely incredible coaster, well worth making the fantastic trip to the wonderful park of Knoebels, a park I cannot wait to review and talk about in the future. What do you think of Phoenix? And do you agree with my review, or did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments. Those of you who are new, consider subscribing to Park Productions, where we have attraction reviews, park reviews, trip vlogs, and many other fun videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.